I'm 17. My height is stuck at 5'7". What do I do? In the comments of any Indian fitness video, thousands ask this exact question. The default cultural response is to look at the family tree. People check their mother's height, they check their father's height, and they assume their physical limits are locked in by a genetic lottery. This chart breaks down human development. While genetics makes up roughly half of the equation, the other 50% is driven by environmental factors. In India, that environment is managed by parents and teachers who design daily routines with a single overriding focus: maximizing academic scores. Everything else is secondary. This prioritization of academic volume often occurs at the direct expense of the physical development required during these peak growth years. Authority figures frequently praise the student who stays up all night and wakes up before dawn to read. Teachers often treat falling asleep before finishing an assignment as a punishable offense, shaming kids in front of the classroom for laziness. The biological reality is that a teenager requires 8 to 10 hours of uninterrupted sleep. It is a physiological requirement for the body to repair and grow. Looking at this 24-hour cycle, growth hormones stay level during the day, only spiking during continuous sleep. But overlay a typical student's schedule. Early school, evening coaching, and late-night homework physically crop that window, cutting the spike off before it rises. The daytime routine offers no physical relief. A student moves from a desk at school to a chair at a coaching center, sitting sedentary for up to 12 hours a day. Take my younger brother. He's a top-performing student living in the middle of Delhi, navigating this dense, chaotic urban sprawl every single day. Despite maxing out his test scores, he didn't even know what a push-up was. His school's physical training periods consisted of standing in a circle tossing a ball back and forth, with zero structured instruction. Compare this to international teenagers who are taught the basics of body mechanics, how to do push-ups, pull-ups, and fundamental resistance training as a standard part of growing up. The system creates a world where kids choose between good grades and understanding their own biology, leaving an entire generation physically illiterate. This disconnect extends to the dining table. If a teenager eats a plate of deep-fried street food and sugary sodas, it's considered normal. But if they prepare a bowl of oats or a high-protein meal, families often mock them for trying to act like a professional bodybuilder. High protein intake is a biological necessity during the teenage years. The body needs those macronutrients to rebuild muscle tissue and support skeletal expansion. Yet parents and peers frequently shame these choices. Eating intentionally is treated as a vanity that distracts from studying for the next exam. The irony is sharp. Families will warn that basic protein sources might damage your kidneys, while ignoring the toxic side effects of high-sugar energy drinks that carry explicit health warnings for minors. When a culture praises junk food while shaming the nutritional building blocks required for recovery, physical stagnation is the predictable result. The macro result of this 24-hour cycle is a generation of teenagers who are chronically stressed, physically weak, and shorter than their genetic potential. But there is a silver lining. Because the vast majority of your peers are trapped in this loop of academic pressure and junk food, the bar for physical competition is low. Reaching the top 10% doesn't require elite genetics. It requires you to reject the cultural default and step away from the desk. The formula is straightforward. Protect your 8 hours of sleep, increase your daily protein intake, and commit to basic physical exercises. It requires moving past the advice of authority figures regarding your health. By using modern tools to understand your own body, you can reclaim your own biological potential.